12, my favorite TV shows were about crime and murder. NCIS, Cold Case Files, Lieutenant Joe Kenda, those were some of my favorites. And the person I always admired on those TV shows was the medical examiner. To me, it was so fascinating to learn how you could find so much about the body even after it was decomposed. It started this fascination with death, in part due to the science behind body decomposition and because of how you dispose of a body leaves a mark on the world. I had an incentive to learn more about body decomposition. I learned about burials and cremation. I learned how inefficient the funeral industry is. Europe is currently facing problems such as burial plot shortages, soil pollution, water pollution, air pollution, and in the future, the US will be facing these same problems too. The solution then, during the medieval era, was to build mass graves on top of each other, or to even make churches out of bones, such as the Celtic ossuary. According to the Celtic ossuary's website, it was common for wealthy or gentry to be buried within the walls of a church. So during congregation, bodies would be decaying in the walls. However, this is the modern era, and I don't really think that's going to fly. No one really wants to sit next to a stinking, filthy, rich person. It's part of these past solutions that actually contribute to the current problem. A study in Great Britain found that 44% of cemeteries will experience a shortage in the next 20 years. If we were to apply this to the US, highly populated areas are likely to experience this sooner. They lack the land to expand outward due to their high population densities, and in rural areas, this isn't feasible either. To give up a piece of farmland or crop is to give up a lifeline to an agricultural economy. There are actually more issues with burial pollution, such as the amount of pollutants in soil and water. Arsenic was actually used in the 18th century, and up to 12 liters of it was pumped into a body. A study done by Alice Bunchberg and Paul Beck, two geologists from the University of Toledo, found that there is still arsenic found in the soil of a 18th century graveyard. This led to water and soil being contaminated. While we can still feel the effects of arsenic today, it doesn't mean we should fear formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is still considered a carcinogen and is fatal in large doses according to the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. While it does have a half-life of 20 days, this doesn't meaning it will break down in 20 days. We actually have no known data on how much of it is in graveyards, and there are actually no US regulations on it. Cremation also has its problems. The EPA estimates that 600 pounds of mercury, though that's 1% of mercury emissions in the US, are present in the year. If we look at the UK situation, they report that 17% of mercury emissions are due to crematoriums. That's the largest of any one industry. And in part, this is due to 70% of people choosing cremation in the UK. Now let's go back to the US. The US has, in the next 20 years, will experience a spike in crematorium emissions due to 70% of people choosing to be cremated. So we will experience a spike in cremation. Till now, I've only stated problems of cremation and burial. And however, there are actually solutions out there. Europe has been facing this problem for past centuries, and they've already come up with solutions. It's just a matter of the US applying them. One solution for those of you who'd like to be buried is natural burial. Natural burial is regulated by the GBC, and it standardizes that the body cannot be embalmed, and it must use a biodegradable casket. Using caskets gets rid of the toxins that are caused by caskets, such as iron, zinc, lead, or copper. And by not embalming the body, we ensure that there is no pollutants due to formaldehyde in the soil or water. One cemetery offers a special service, such as metal natural burial ground in Virginia. They offer a successive gravesite. A successive gravesite is a gravesite that may be reused after 50 years. Not all cemeteries offer this, as it's not standardized by the GBC. However, it's just a matter of looking and finding cemeteries that do. For those of you who would like to be cremated, there are more environmentally friendly ways of cremation. One is bioresumation. The process is the body is put into a metal chamber and an alkali solution is poured in. The body breaks down to its major components and you become this white sludge. Granted, you are dried and your remains are actually white powder. Now, I know being a white sludge is not the most appealing thing in the world, however, I choose to look at it this way. You can put grandma in a nice lukewarm bath, or you can put her into an incinerator. I think those are two different choices. And to me, one's more appealing than the other. There are actually more appeals, such as biocremation offering 20% more remains, and it neutralizes the effects of embalming. There's another environmentally friendly cremation, such as resumation. It was first made in Sweden and by the company Cremation. While it's licensed in the US, no facilities are currently in the US. The process is the body is put into a chamber and a liquid nitrogen is injected into it. This dehydrates the body and sucks all the water out, kind of like a vegetable. The body is then shocked with either sound waves or vibrations. Thus, these particles are your remains. It'll be a few years until Cremation comes over, but I do think it's a viable option. I provided you with 3 solutions so far. However, there are numerous options. The funeral industry is actually expanding and it's becoming highly individualized. So no matter what decision you make, you have to talk with your family. Death can be awkward to approach. By talking about it, we admit that we're mortal, not immortal. So it's necessary that we have this open death talk with our families. It alleviates the stresses of planning a sudden funeral, and the family can be given time to grieve. My family has actually done this with my grandfather. About 15 years ago, we made a will, and we planned his funeral arrangements with the U of A. They would take his body after the funeral, and he would be donated to science. The only thing, the old man still hasn't kicked it yet. The way he saw it was donating his body to science would be a way to help scientists further their research and medical students learn from his body. That was his mark on the world, a way to help the living even after death. While you may all be alive and not dead yet, I do want you to consider something. How do you want to dispose of your body after death? Do you want to take consideration of financial options, or do you want to be environmentally friendly? Do you want to continue tradition or try something new, like biocremation or natural burial? These are all valid options, but no matter the choice you make, that choice is yours. Thank you.